Hello. How 0 by 0 works for in the cases of limits. Today we discuss. Let's watch. Suppose if we take as any say limit as x tends to 0, that is x by x, and it will be clearly 1 if we take, and this condition is x is obviously non-zero elements, then how is it works for? And if we take the simple result, as we say, the neighborhood of 0, that is considered NBD or neighborhood of 0. If we take in our consideration as, suppose here 0.00, suppose let us suppose 3, and if we say another neighborhood point like this, and then it's clear that 0 by 0 already takes this form 0.0003. if we take another result 0.0.03, and it's clear that this result obviously 1, but it is a limiting form, not exact form. That means this result, this 0.0.0, this result 0.3, that must be tending to 0. It's not equals to 0. So we are giving here the sense of limit, not exact value. So here if we observe this result, it is also takes the form of 0 by 0 as x tends to 0, so 0 by 0 form. So we can say it is a form. If we take few results and few database, we observe so many things like this forms. Let's watch. Now if we take another point, that is 0 by 0, that must be, if we take here like this 0.0009 etc. in this way, and it is 0.0003 in this way. If we are taking this type of results, what's happened there? That must be equivalent to this result is 3, and like this. And if we take to examine this type of result, so now we are finding here the result 3. So actually what happens there? We are using this result that is tends to 0, here also tends to 0, so ratio will be finite. But in the earlier state, whatever may be, we find 2, here we find 3, and in these cases we don't find any kind of fixed results. And actually 0 by 0 is a form, it is not any value, fixed value. We can't find any fixed value by the result of 0 by 0. And now let's watch how works it functionally, though we started it as a simple way. But now if we are finding in this type of result pattern, let's watch what happens there. As limit extending to 1, and if we say the result x square minus 1 by x minus 1, what happens there? We observe this. Actually what happens there, this type of function we have rationalized it, but if we must observe, we calculate it in the neighborhood of 1. If we watch, it will be 1 square minus 1 square, so result will be 0, and here also 1 minus 1, result will be 0. So this result takes the form of 0 by 0. And now, so x equals to 1 is the singular point actually. So we take in this form limit as x tending to 1. Here we observe x plus 1 into x minus 1, and here x minus 1. So it is clear, limit as x tending to 1, x plus 1, and now product of this limit x tending to 1, x minus 1 by x minus 1 which also takes the form of 0 by 0. If we are finding here NBD point, but here there is no singular point, so the result is clearly 1 plus 1, so this will be 2. Now what happens there? If we observe it in a finite way, in neighborhood of 1, if we say that the result is choice of x is 1 point, say 0 0 0 1 minus 1, and another kind of things that 1.0001 minus 1, what will be its result? That is 0.0001, and here also 0.0001, that is negligibly small quantity, so it will be same to same result, that's 1, clear. And so result is 2 into 1, so result will be 2. But obviously that is the 0 sense means limiting value of 0 here, so we don't calculate the exact value. So this is our idea how 0 by 0 works, and we use this concept in the cases of limit. And if we observe in the wider sense of let's watch in the formula of elementary formula of differential calculus. Let's watch. Now formula of derivative, if y is the function of x, if we consider it, and if we find the elementary definition of derivative limit as del x tends to 0, so change of x or increment of x, we calculate change of y, so it will be corresponding to x plus del x minus of fx, since y is the function of x, so it will be y plus del y will be x plus del x, and del y will be calculated as f of x plus del x minus fx by del x. In this way, if we observe it, it also takes the form of 0 by 0. So it is our elementary definitions. We don't study here how this formula came from, but we observe it that how 0 by 0 takes these forms. So this is our main way, and this is our object, to find out the form of 0 by 0 and how 0 by 0 works for. So in every stages we find this result, and we find the finite cases. So it is indeterminate form actually. We end our discussions here.